I will start my debate in 3, 2, 1. Honorable adjudicators, respected opposition team, here I am as the Prime Minister of the government team would like to talk about our motion today, which is this House will prioritize preserving cultural tradition even at the cost of slowing social progress, ladies and gentlemen. So, in a world where the cultural tradition is already getting older, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't even know where it comes from. We didn't even know who teach them. But eventually, it will be taught by our parents to us so that we know about the rules. We know about how to do something so properly, even though that's from our ancestors and we didn't even ever get a chance to meet them. But we know how they teach us. They gave us the education of doing something. And this is called the cultural education, cultural tradition that always the ancestors do and teach to us. So one point of setup, firstly, is cultural tradition is crucial these days. Yes, it's really totally crucial. I believe that. Let's call it a respect. When our parents is teach us about this cultural tradition, that means that the ancestors teach our parents as well. For example, like our grandpa teach our mother and our mother teach to us. This means that we call it respect. We are respected our mother and our ancestors that teach us about this. And they did a lot of things so that they can get their right. They have already got the many education and so that they can have something to pass on to their grandchild, which is us as the grandchild. B, ownership. Let's talk about ownership. Ownership is that we own something, ladies and gentlemen, and this could means that our ancestors own something, and that something is passed on us. I truly believe that this thing is our rights, and that's people's doing it for a long time. That's for example, such as land or something that people always do, our ancestors always do, and it's passed on us. And people are already doing it for a long time. Our grandfather, our grandmother, our father, our mother, and then it's us. And after that, it is our son, our daughter, and the last one is our grandchild. Everything. We do it for a long time. Therefore, we say one thing. If the opposition team claim that government team said social progress is not important or think that the preserving cultural tradition is not needed, now let's reuse our logic. We have inherited something from our ancestors or our grandfathers or mother father, but it it was being taken away. For example, like land or position in our place. For example, let's say this is a lotus village and we grant the position and we grant the land or something like that. But abruptly, people taking that away. People want to take that position. People want to take that land, even though it is our right and the ancestors is giving it to us because that's already our right, like I was just said, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, I truly believe that we won't give it to another person because that's ours. That's our ancestors. That's us at the beginning. This is not greedy, ladies and gentlemen. This is means that we are priorities, prioritizing our right. We want to grant what we already have, what our ancestors give to us. This is not greedy, ladies and gentlemen. So, 3 points of arguments I would like to give. First of all, outsiders don't have the right to control us or get rid of our old tradition. Second, cultural traditions show respect for people and history of the places in the past. Third, this cultural tradition makes us understand about the rules and keep us from breaking it. So, first of all, I would like to explain outsiders don't have the right to control us or get rid of our old tradition. So, this is because outsiders, especially people from outside, don't have the right. This is ours. This is our right. This is for us. This is what we grant from our ancestors. For example, we always do things such as, have you heard about pamali? This is the things that we always do, such as my grandmother taught that after from the grave, I need to wash my hands and feet. Second, prohibit to cutting nails at night. The third one is prohibit cut hair on Saturday. That's what our ancestors is always teach me. And for the related of this argument is we can get rid of our old tradition reluctantly because this is what we always do. We can just abruptly get rid of that. Second, cultural tradition show respect for people and history of the past in the first place. And because of that tradition, we need to show our respect for people and history of that place. For example, like the land, we need to show us our history of that land. We need to show us to other people and something like that, but not giving it to the other person. And the last one is this cultural tradition make us understand about the rules and keep us from breaking it. Like for example, that after the grave, I wash my hands and face, prohibit cutting nails at night, and prohibit cutting hair on Saturday. This is called family, and we always that because it's making us understand the rules. Even though many people didn't even understand why was that, but because of that, we always follow the rules. We study to how following the rules properly, ladies and gentlemen. So for the impact is, ladies and gentlemen, people being pulled with something that trendy these days because they already forget about the cultural, ladies and gentlemen. Second, people forget the tradition that ancestors teach us. Third, people don't want to know how to do something related to the ancestors and the thing they deserve to God because they couldn't care less and lost the rules. Because they didn't even care about what the ancestors decide, they will lost the rules, ladies and gentlemen. They won't know how they will do it. They won't even following the rules or did something that bad. And not only that, they will forget about the tradition the ancestors give us, the parents give us, and being put on something that trendy. So the solution is this is a big question, ladies and gentlemen, how this is carried out and how to implement this in real life. This means that the old cultural tradition, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, do it every day. Second, say to our son on the third, prioritize the cultural rather than the trendy these days. For example, we prioritize traditional dance rather than modern dance. This is so crucial, ladies and gentlemen. We prioritize something like traditional dance, this for the example only. And because of that prior trendy days, we don't get carried out. We don't get even we cannot do that for the entertainment, but we still remember what our ancestors say, ladies and gentlemen. Even though this is cost of social slowing social progress, but we know about the rules so that we know how to do something properly. Even though this is a little bit cost of slowing social progress, but we know how to do something and didn't do something bad because our ancestors didn't say that we can't do that. Thank you.